Good afternoon, everyone. This is Joe Rendacci from Two Vintage Sports Guys. Welcome you back to another podcast episode. My partner in crime, Paul, is I don't know out there like Wales Waldo somewhere. We'll find him eventually, but we don't need him when we have great guest hosts as I have today. So I'm going to kick it off to my special guest. And how would you like me to introduce you? Just do the intro yourself.
Hey, you can just simply call me Kevin or Kev. Kevin L. Warren. I'm the host and moderator of the Sports Chasers Media Group, and we're a multifaceted sports podcast where we just talk about sports. We talk anything from MLB to NHL to NBA to WNBA. We got specialists on there, insiders, and we just love sports and we just kick about sports. We go live twice a week on Monday nights and on Thursday nights, both at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. We also just did a live here this few hours ago at 11 o'clock. We talked about just baseball, MLB. So make sure you catch that also, man. So like I said, we talk all sports and we love it. And you can just call me Kevin. I'm the host and moderator of the Sports Chasers.
Very cool. Thank you, sir. Yeah, please go check out Kevin's site for the latest episodes. Let's kick it off into baseball. You and I are two old school Brooklyn born, now in witness relocation in South Florida. But that's all right. We can still hear the accents. We could still do a good Mets-Yankees love-hate rivalry. We had one last night. We had the kickoff of the 3-game series. As usual, my Mets are pathetic and your Yankees are thriving. But why don't you give me some of your thoughts? What you thought of the kickoff game?
So we just, like I said, we just did a show on baseball and we talked about the rivalry game and Mets and Yankees. Yes, I would say rivalry game. I don't think it means a lot right now because the Mets are no good. As you know, I hate to say it, but it is what it is with the Mets. And meanwhile, the Yankees. In Yankee Stadium, they're thriving. They're doing well. They're doing some good things this year. And, it's pretty much with the Yankees, World Series or bust, man. And that's what it boils down to. And if you watched the game last night, the Yankees coming away with the victory. It's pretty much been a dichotomy of both teams and both seasons and how the Yankees go out and win and how the Mets, unfortunately, how they go out and they're unable to, win ball games. So,
yeah. Here's what I'll say to that. All true. And there's nothing I could say. The Mets are awful, but it's beyond the injuries because they are injured. And Holmes got injured again. He's injured last night, so he's out. So he could join a list of people that are hurt. But they stunk before most of them got hurt because when David Stearns put this together, it's the first time in a lifetime that I looked at the roster and I really felt nothing. I mean, after you get rid of Nemo and McNeil and Polar Bear, not that they could win, but we felt like we had more of a unit. He's plugging these people in, looking at a stat sheet like the old Billy Bean A's days, and I think you're missing heart, right? Like, I don't like Juan Soto. I don't care how much he hits. I don't care what we paid him. He's the guy that shows up. If you remember Major League, which is the greatest sports movie, there's Major League 2, okay? When the Chicago catcher with the glasses, he's the hired gun that comes in, and then they trade him to the other side. That's Juan Soto. He could care less. He wipes his tears with his money. They said there's no love in that clubhouse for him or from him. That's the inside Mets word.
I'll say this, Joe, and like we said, we talked about ad nauseum about your Mets. And unfortunately, yes, Stern is one of these nerd guys. He's the Daryl Morey of the MLB. If you don't, for your viewers, I know Daryl Morey's, looks like he's going to be the former GM of the Philadelphia 76ers. I just don't like the analytics guy, man. I just think, like you said, there needs to be a heart to go along with the numbers, and it needs to be a feel. It needs to be a fit. And like you said, yeah, we wanted to keep Juan Soto, but Juan Soto left for whatever reason. It looked like he left for more money. So be it. And so he went, and the Yankees went about their business, and Juan Soto You know, him. They said there's him beef between him and what's your shortstop? I can't think of his name right now, but they got
Lindor.
beef. Yeah, Lindor. They got beef, and you lost like you said, you lost the polar bear. You lost Nemo. You lost what's my man Jeff McNeil that went. They shipped him out to Sacramento.
Oh, Oakland, flying squirrel. They sent him
You
out to
know,
Oakland.
you know what I'm saying? And I'm like you. I said, what were the Mets thinking? What was he thinking of? But I think he's one of these analytical guys who think they're, in my opinion, I think they're too smart for their own good, and they don't put the human element with the stats. And
Right.
if you're old school baseball guys like me and Joe, managers don't look at the sheets. Sometimes it's just a gut feeling. Sometimes it's just what's deep inside. Hey, man, so and so. Hey, I'm gonna have you come off the bench today, man, and make you do something. And sometimes that stuff works. And in baseball, I think you absolutely need that. That factor within. You can't do it by analytics just alone. And yeah, Oakland was successful, Billy Bean back in those days because they had to because of the money and stuff like that. But now I just think, you just need to just, look at your play and see what's a good fit for your organization, man. And yeah, you guys got a hired gun. You got Juan Soto. Yeah, he went for the highest.
Yeah,
And so
and at one point he had the one hit last night in home run, and that was it. So whether we lose 5-1, 5-2, but just to finish up on what you were saying there, a stat doesn't hit the ball, the bat hits the ball, right? There's my little
right.
rhyme for the day. But when you look back on the whole Moneyball era of the A's, and if you ever watched the movie with Brad
Yes.
Pitt, the three names they failed to mention through all those stats and all those utility people are the three all-star pitchers in Barry Zito, Tim Hudson, and Mark Mulder. Like, oh, by the way, while we took this, utility guy who could hit this and this, we failed to mention the three all-star pitchers for that run, right? You need those players, right? So I'm beyond all that stat stuff. That might have worked for him in Milwaukee, even
Yes.
though he didn't have a championship banner hanging there from that. And matter of fact, it was Polar Bear who went in and beat those Brewers 2 years ago in that playoff run. But I digress. But yeah, and the only thing I would say about the Yankees, and I'm not even talking as a Met fan, Yankee hater, it's just kind of reality. You you can beat all the bad teams all day long, and that's what you need to do, but you struggle against the good teams. And that's you just struggled against the Brewers, right?
They swept them. Brewers swept them. Yeah.
All right.
What's my man? The Miz came in there just pitching 105, 106 right out the gate. So the
Yep.
Brewers are a good team, man. So like you said, you can't just beat just the bad teams when it comes time. If you look, if you look at Atlanta this week, how they beat the Cubs 2 out of 3, and I thought that was a very good litmus test for Atlanta, for the Braves, beating the Cubs 2 out of 3, because Atlanta, in my opinion, I think they're the toast of the town in the National League East, even though the Phillies have looked like they have turned some things around. Shout out to Donnie Baseball, getting them look like they're right. And Kyle Schwarber, he is stroking the baseball, man, for sure.
So you just hurt my heart again because
Sorry.
like the one city when we left New York, the one city I went to was the worst place to go as a Mets fan, which was Atlanta. For 30 years of kicking our ass, I had to live in that city for 15 years and watch friggin' chops and everything
Yes.
else, right? Like, so, and every time you think they're down, they just come right back. Just like last year, they had a bad year. Here they come, right?
Yep.
And I had to do a work event last week. And where was it? Brave Stadium, yeah, right in the Battery. Luckily, the Tigers beat them that one day. But yeah, no, from that standpoint, the Yankees, will they make the playoffs? Sure. Will they probably win that division? Uh, the East, we'll see. I mean,
No
Toronto may
sleep.
make a run.
Don't sleep on Tampa though. Tampa's ahead of the. Yeah, okay, let's just focus on Tampa real quick, Joe. How
Okay.
they continue to keep doing what they're doing, and you live on that side of the state, man, and you probably hear a little bit more than me, but they continue. They do it the Billy Bean way, man. They do scouting and stuff like that, and they're always around the top or near or in the playoffs for the
Well,
last.
you know why they're playing better right now? Because they're back in their hurricane-blown Tropicana Stadium after having to play in George Steinbrenner Field in
Ain't
the
that for a
minor
year?
league stadium for the Yankees last year,
For a year. Yep.
outside in the searing heat.
Heat.
Like,
In South Florida. Yes, correct.
that was brutal. And so they still don't know what they're going to do with Tropicana was supposed to be torn down and be rebuilt right now, but the new politics took over, and we still don't know what's happening there. So,
Mm.
but all right, well, let's go around the league. What else did you see in baseball last night? Like you said, Braves beat the Red Sox in 10. Cubs keep winning. They beat their crosstown White Sox. But did you see any other game of note that you think is of interest?
What was it? The Cleveland and Cincinnati series, man. If you saw that game, I mean, both teams, Cleveland's the top is the top of the AL Central, and Cincinnati. I think one of our guys on our show, the National League Central probably right now is the best division in baseball, man. Everybody's above 500, and the Reds and well, who was it? The Reds and I want to say the Pirates are right there, 25 and 21, and they're right there in it. But to get back to your first point, I think the Cleveland and Cincinnati series, the battle for Ohio, and how that's going. And what was the other game? You mentioned the
Well,
Braves.
let's stay on that one for a sec because I
Yeah,
just want to
sure.
make a point with Cincinnati Cleveland.
Yeah.
That's a 2-2 game going into the top of the eighth when
Hmm.
they then gave up 9 runs between them in the eighth and ninth inning, which now comes back to my continuing gripe that they now bring up relievers who can just throw 100 miles an hour, but
Facts.
barely have any control. You see that the amount of hit batters going up each year and the
Hmm.
amount of runs and leads blown late in games, right? How do you have a 2-2? You've given up 4 runs combined in the first 7, and you give up 9 runs in the last 2 innings. Did everybody figure out how to hit the ball? Okay, you can't pitch as well.
I I think it's just a little bit of both, especially the pitcher, man. Like you said, everybody's just throwing 100+ miles an hour, man. But if you've gotten to a place, not gotten to a place, if you can just learn, I think now hitters are getting smart, right? I think now we've gotten away from the era of, just hit the long ball. I think teams now are doing what? They're doing hitting and running and back to hitting and running, stealing bases and some of those things to get these teams, to get run production instead of waiting for the 3-run bomb or the bases clearing, whatever. So.
Yeah, I just see a lack of. I mean, it goes back to starting pitching. If they make it past 5 to get the win and they get out of there lucky. Like I might have mentioned when I interviewed Tommy John recently and I took a look at his stats, he had 87 no decisions, and I think he had like 100, 102. He had a crazy amount of complete games, right? Like win or lose. They just don't do that anymore. The game doesn't do that. But like you're lucky half of these starting pitchers could get through 5 to even be eligible for the win. And there are some, and as you've seen in the last few years, there are some teams and coaches that aren't even managing to get the starting pitcher a win anymore. If they got to pull them in 3 or 4, they just do it. And I don't think I like that after watching baseball for 50 years, like since a kid.
So I'll point this out. And if you don't remember, if the back in the '90s when the Yankees were winning their World Series, I think the Yankees started this stuff. Mel Stoudemire and his crew, with you went to Nelson in the 7th, and then you went to before Mariano was Mariano. He pitched the 8th, and then you had Wetland, who they got from the Montreal Expos at the time, and then they closed the door. That's how that used to be, and so they shortened the game. And like you said, now it's on steroids, so to speak, where like you just said, they don't even. Hey man, if you don't make it to the 5th inning, man, we don't care, man. If you ain't doing your thing, we're gonna bullpen committee this out until we get the victory, man. That's why I think some of the changes from if you remember, Rob Manfred made some of these changes with the bringing pitchers in, and you got to the pitchers had to. I want to say the rule is you got to pitch like to 2 battle minimum before you pull the pitcher out again. I mean, excuse me, before you make a change, a pitching change again. So yeah, it's a hard watch, and no, it's having no complete games, man. That's just what it is now, man. I guess I've come to accept it, man. But I'm like you, I don't like it, man. But it's what it is.
I get it is what it is. But I may have just too old. I mean, hell, the show's called Two Vintage Sports Guys. I'm one of them. Standing in as the other one, right? So,
I'm with you, bro. I'm with you, man. I would like somebody just, hey, man, let me just go 9 innings, man. Just go there, just tough it out, and just go. But now with the inventive pitch, with the pitch count, it's going to this thing, man, and that's what it is, man. Unfortunately.
Yeah, I just sound like a grumpy vintage old man now. I should finish each one of these little rants with a little Clint Eastwood, get off my lawn, audio. All right, let's jump into the NBA playoffs. So I got to admit, I called Detroit in 7, but I didn't expect the wins and losses to go this route. What do you think going into the game 7?
Listen, Cleveland should have finished that deal last night, and they just wet the bed. I won't cuss on your show, Ben, but they just absolutely wet the bed. And we said it on Thursday night when we was on. We was like, if Cleveland's going to get this series, if Spider Mitchell, they're going to get it, they got to win. Yes, they had to win last night, and they didn't get it done last night. And I'm with you. Detroit will win tomorrow night, man, and close it out. The thing about Detroit, and I love Cade Cunningham. I love him. I love his game and everything, man. But he needs some more help offensively on the offensive. And I think that's why Detroit has struggled offensively. They don't have enough to finish. They've done their things with Cleveland, of course, and they have defense, man. But I think offensively, man, it's going to be tough for them, if they happen to move on.
Where do you put anything on Harden? I was listening to Stephen A. Smith on ESPN. They were yapping about, does he show up, not show up as usual? What do you put on Harden for last night? What does he got to do in game 7?
He's got to win. He's got the stigma of only just being a regular season dude, and that's it. He's got to put up a shut up. He's got to do it. Yes, he's a great scorer. He does all those things, man. But when it comes to the playoffs, man, he's pretty much hasn't been not doing well. Now this playoffs he has, but I'm just saying for his legacy's sake, this generation always talk about legacy. I think James Harden, he needs to go out there and put Cleveland on his back, so to speak, and he needs to go out there and get this victory tomorrow, and they be in the Eastern Conference Finals against my Knicks. So
okay, yeah. So I'm sorry. So you calling Cleveland or Detroit? Who's winning?
I'm calling Detroit, man. I'm calling Detroit.
Right, so we both agree Detroit. Now, taking your bias out of it.
Yes.
Knicks, Detroit. Give me your call.
If the Knicks and Detroit happen to face, I think this will be another 7-game series. The Knicks beat them last year. Like I said, I don't think Detroit has enough offense. I think the Knicks will get Detroit in 6 games. The Knicks have been playing phenomenal. Ever since they lost that game 3 in Atlanta, and it looks like they had a come to Jesus meeting about playing defense. The Knicks have been tenacious. And as Walt Clyde Frazier would say, razzle dazzling. They just been doing all the right things, and they've been shooting lights out from 3-point land, which we all know that could be hit or miss. But they have absolutely been doing a great job from that 3-point line, man, and doing their thing.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Detroit Knicks, and I try to look at it. You could never look ahead, meaning what happened in the Atlanta Knicks series. Knicks had to find their footing, and then they historically blew them out. I never thought Atlanta had a chance anyway. No. Okay, so let's close that book on that series. Philly, obviously 7 seed, rallies back from 3-1 against the depleted Boston. I didn't think Philly was any good. I didn't think they were going to do anything against the Knicks. I thought the Knicks would beat them in 5. Did anybody think Philly was going to really put that to 7 to the Knicks? Knicks played great, but they should blow the doors, in my opinion, should have blown the doors off of Philly. So, okay, golf clap, close that book. Now, this is a new series. Detroit they found life, right? They should have lost to Orlando. They came back. They could have lost, right, in this last game to Cleveland and been out. I think they win and roll on. And then I think game one won't tell us anything, Detroit, New York, because the Knicks will be so rested. If they lose, you'll hear they were rested.
Right.
They'll come back, win game two, and then it'll be 1-1 going back to New York. And then I think game three would tell us something, right? But that's me just projecting, like out further.
Gotcha.
Where do you think about that?
I think you're right. If the Knicks, if it happens to be New York, the Knicks and the Pistons, they happen to lose game one, like you said, the Knicks, they rested too much, which could be a thing, man. I was reading the other day how they was practicing and just going through some of the things, but they're professionals. I think they should be going out and be ready, and I think the Knicks could absolutely beat the Pistons, and I think I'm going to say the Knicks in 6, if it's like that.
Okay, and I don't disagree. I think they should win the series. I think they probably will. I get leery at teams that play as well as the Knicks played because you're setting a bar they're not used to doing chin-ups on. They don't play like that all the time.
So, Joe, let me stop you right there. So that's why I had the trepidation with the 76ers, the Philadelphia 76ers series. I was like, there's no way the Knicks going to be doing this. And then game one, game two, and then game two? I was like, no, game two is where I think they just squeaked it out. Then game three, and then I was like, and I still wasn't believing. Then game four, I was like, last Sunday. So, yes, as a long-suffering Knicks fan, yes, I absolutely hide my eyes sometimes, and I can't believe what I see. So I do hold some reservation for that. I wouldn't even get on social media. I wouldn't even talk junk to some of my people. I'm like, hey, man, one game at a time, man. That's where I'm at, man. One game at a time.
Fair enough. So let's jump into then game one, San Antonio at OKC.
San Antonio, man, that's gonna be a good series, man. Wembyana, man, he's a dog, man. He's a dog. But OKC, man, last year, from what they're doing last year and this year, they pretty much just picked up and keep doing what they're doing, man. Just defensively, man, they are dogs when it comes to that defense, man. They just harass you and they just make it hard for you to score, which, in this modern NBA, man, some of us might have a problem because, defense sometimes is just not there. But don't tell OKC that because they come out every night and they play defense, man. And, Shea, SGA, man, how he plays and some of my former Knicks people on there, man, I just think OKC is just strong. I think this is going to be a 7-game series. I think this is going to be the better series out of the two. And I think, my opinion, I strongly believe OKC will go back to the NBA Finals.
Absolutely. I'm just going to say OKC in 6, and I won't add anything more to what you said. So let's jump ahead now. It's Knicks beat Detroit, Knicks OKC.
Joe.
I'll make it easy. I'll lead OKC in 6.
Yeah, would the Knicks have a chance? Yes, because the Knicks, I think behind Mike Brown, I've had my trepidation about Mike Brown this year, man, but he looked like he's turned it around, man. But they faced OKC. I'm going to say the same thing, Joe. I'm a long time Knicks fan here, but if they face OKC in the finals, I think OKC will get them, and it'll be in 6 games, man, because of what they do, man. So.
And I think if you're the Knicks and you lose to the defending champions in the finals in 6, you don't bow your head to that. You come back strong next year because the problem is OKC has got, I think I forget the number, 16 first and second round picks.
Yes, I forgot about that.
5 or 6 years. So you are looking at a dynasty the likes of the Bulls. And again, that's a lot of years that have to play out. A lot of things could happen, a lot of injuries, a lot of. But you can't be this good right now, about to probably win back to back, and then have 16 1 and 2 picks, first round, second round picks in the next 5 years.
Sam Presti is the toast of the town in OKC, the general manager for OKC, man. What he has done, how he's constructed this roster, and now, of course, you'll see all the copycats trying to do what he does, man. And man, but he's constructed this roster, which is of course we know the strong roster, and some of the, I would call it, diabolical moves that he has made to get, like you said, for the future. So hey, this machine will keep running the way it is. So
and that's going to be kind of scary and kind of crazy, Like I was literally listening to, and I think Stephen A was talking about, he loves Anthony, Ant-Man. He loves Anthony Edwards, and he thinks he's the next Jordan, and yada yada yada. But he's like, if I'm him, I'm getting the hell out of that Western Conference. I'm going over to the East, and I'm picking a team that if I have to see OKC, it's in the finals, and we see if I could win it. Right. Because between, as you said, Wemby in with the Spurs for the next X amount of years, right? And OKC, what are you doing there in the West if you're these other teams?
Praying, hoping, wishing. That's what you're doing,
all
bro.
Right. Well, I guess we'll end this episode on a prayer there, right? In the name of the Father and but,
for those that are here, I just did the the Hail Mary. So
Hail Mary. So well, let's just end it on this. I think you're a New York Giants football fan. What's your thoughts on your upcoming Giants?
Hey man, I saw the schedule come out. I am very, very happy for what we did. We got Harbaugh. We got a coach. Looks like we're going to have some stability in the building. I don't know about keeping the general manager around, but I think Harbaugh will outlast his general manager. But we'll see. Jackson Dart. Hey man, I think he's our guy. Cam Scatterbull, man, he plays hard, man. But I don't know how long.
I love Scatterbull from Arizona State.
Yeah, I don't know how long he's going to be around, man, because he plays so hard, man. And the Giants got some neighbors. I think he had another surgery, man. So hopefully, we'll have to look how the draft picks pan out. I'm not this person that says, hey, yo. You have to just wait how they pan out, man, how they mesh with the team and things of that nature. And when comes training camp and when comes September, when football season's, you're hopeful, man. You're hopeful for this, man. But I think the Giants' future is bright, and I just like how they just went for it and went and got Harbaugh. Even though Harbaugh, he ended a bad note in Baltimore. Now Baltimore wins that playoff game. Guess what? If they win. You know what? Harbaugh is still coaching in Baltimore. Let's just be real with that, right? Unfortunately, they lose, and now one man's trash is another man's treasure.
Man, you want to talk about franchises. When Pittsburgh wins that on that missed field goal, you get taught. I mean, again, long-suffering Jet fan, like, we don't get those breaks. Like, Mets are used to, again, I tell this all the time. My son came home crying in second grade 20 years ago. And I said, what happened? And he goes, some Yankee kid came over and told me Mets stands for my entire team sucks. And I just put my arm around him and I said, son, that's true. Get used to it. Right? And we know Jets stands for just end the season. So, I mean, with teams like this, they haven't come up with an Islanders acronym yet, but I'm still looking for it.
It's been a long time since those 4 cups in the 80s.
Yeah, I didn't become a fan until 93, so of course I missed all that anyway. So, greatest year of my life is still 1986. I graduated high school and the Mets won the World Series. That was it.
True story about that, Joe. I was in high school there, and I'll never forget. I went to social studies class, and my social studies teacher, Mr. Sandalo, he said, Kevin, why are you here? Why are you not at the parade? I said, I'm a Yankees fan. He said, oh, okay. Because everybody had skipped school and went to the parade. I says, nah, I'm a Yankee fan. I says, I'm here. And 10 years later, I'm down there in the Canyon of Heroes celebrating my Yankees as they won their first World Series in almost like a decade. So I want to say, yeah, over a decade. Yeah, almost 20 years. It was 18 years when the last time the Yankees had won the World Series back in 96 to 78. So yeah, shout out to Mr. Sandoval.
I actually rooted for, even though I'm a Yankee hater, I actually at that point in '96, after the Yankees had stunk for a while,
Yes.
I actually rooted for them. There was just something about them. First of all, you had my two '86 Mets on it.
Yeah,
It's Strawberry and Gooden,
yes.
right? Gooden got his only no-hitter on your Yankees that year, and yeah, I rooted for them. I liked, even though Donnie Baseball didn't make it, right? He was out the year before with that play at the plate with Seattle, right? It was the last of his games.
95. Yep.
I rooted for them in '96, but then like all dynasties I hate that aren't mine, I couldn't take them by the time they beat my Mets in 2000. Right?
Yes. Yep.
And
you have the World Series. Yep.
When it's funny because when you're a Met fan and Yankee hater, you're a Red Sox stepbrother because you root for anybody that could beat the Yankees at that point. So I think my greatest sports moment after '86, the Mets winning, is 2003 with the Red Sox coming back from 3-0 against the Yankees.
That sucked, bro. Yes, that sucked.
Hey,
so you
I
still
have so little. Don't take it away from me.
100%. You're right.
Anyway. All right. Well, I want to thank Kevin for joining me today as a special guest host. It was fun. I enjoyed it. Love to have you back. Why don't you give our audience a little shout out, goodbye, and tell them what's coming up on your podcasts.
Hey, make sure you check us out. Like I said, we're live every Monday and Thursday at 7 p.m. Eastern. YouTube, Twitch, millions. We're on all those platforms, man. Live. Just come check us out. We talk all sports, man. And hey, check us out. SportsChasersPodcast.net. Excuse me, Sports Chasers. I changed it. SportsChasers.net. That's what will be on the web. You can find all our content on there. Appreciate you, Joe, man. This has been great. And I if you have me back, I would love to be back. This was fun, man. Love it. One Brooklyn guy to another Brooklyn guy, man. So
there you go. We'll go down and get a Coney Island hot dog and try not to get mugged. So all right. Hang on there. All right, audience. Take care. We will see you soon.